Okay, I think we're maybe ready to go. Give me just a minute here. I'm actually multi-streaming for once. Just double checking that everything is in good order. Seems like both for my mic stuff is coming through both on the YouTube feed as well as on Twitch, so that's good to know at the very least. Got both chats going. I've got multi-chat ready to go too. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good to see you all. I don't expect this to go very long, just as a overall heads up on it all. Pretty much working on the next video for the YouTube channel, as my hair is a legitimate mess and a half. I may just have to like pat it. Yeah, that a hat might be the safest concept for it. Haven't had a chance to wash it today yet, so just grab one quick thing here. Okay. Let's double check. Okay, so we've got everything coming across. Alright, so video timeline and all. I've made some good progress on it. There's still more parts that need to be added. It's gonna look like something over the half an hour by the time it's all said and done, but at least I guess you could say I'm like 45 to 50% of the way there, which is great for me personally. So let's see, delete empty tracks. There we go. All right, yep, all the good old circles. Yeah, so the whole concept of the video that I'm doing is FM save that I did for that lasted about 6 seasons, where I went to a bunch of different YouTubers asking them for variations of the 442, which is a tactic I personally like loathe with every fiber of my being, and had to force myself to play that in order to win a Champions League with it. So this is just detailing that whole process and how it went. Hey Dan, and no, I didn't. I don't live anywhere near where those games are going to be happening, and I'm not paying those prices for tickets by any stretch of the imagination. So I think I see what we did with this one. I just have to. There we go. This should be a better transition onto it. Perfect. No, not really. A lot of rotations were happening in that game, and I feel like the team just took the foot off the gas when they shouldn't have after that being up 2-0 in the first half. Like, Japan's proven they can make comebacks like this before at this point. It's not like they're the same team from like 10 years ago that was still kind of figuring out how to be a power outside of Asia. So that result didn't surprise me as much as it seems to have done so many other people. Alright, so let's see.
Shortly after the Spurs game, we got the Champions League schedule in old.
Perfect. So I've got the Champions League schedule slide to throw in here next. Should be somewhere here. The one mistake I did before I started this whole project was not naming the files. So it takes me an extra couple seconds to look for them, but then again, given I'm not using every single asset I got screenshotted or got video capture out of, probably for the best to not name everything if I'm only using like a certain percentage of it.
We got the Champions League schedule in.
Yeah, we can do this style of view where you can see everything, including the emails, and then transition to more of a close-up on the next one, since we're going to be talking about the teams we're facing.
Dear God, the draw was absolutely brutal.
Also, yeah, in terms of the Champions League draw, as Blackburn getting into the competition for the first time, this was brutal. Brutal is the right word for it, actually. So, I think this is the part where I'm talking about each of the teams in it. So I'm wondering if I should use the club badges or just do another closer focus, but on the actual team names. I probably could, actually.
Absolutely brutal.
Extend it all the way here.
This whole thing had us matched up against the likes of Inter Milan, Marseille, Ajax, Leverkusen, Real Madrid, and Napoli. So, this isn't gonna be fun. At all. This whole thing had us matched up against.
Extend this a little bit more. I think what I can do is here.
So,
and then do one of these with the Alright, so let's use and this is the one in which I've got to figure out the end timestamps for this, since for some reason I can't see it. Okay, there we go. This is the close-up that I want here, but I need to include all of the A teams. But without the rules portion listed. Actually, yeah, this is perfect right here. So 3780. Alright, so for this endpoint here, do these keyframes. Actually, no, not on this one. I need to select the correct one. So 3780. You'll see what's happening here in just a second. I just need to throw in the correct numbers. Alright, let's see how this looks now doing it this way.
League schedule, and oh my dear god, the draw was absolutely brutal. This whole thing had us matched up against the likes of Inter Milan.
Okay, yep, yeah, the close-up does what it needs to do on that, and then I guess I can do the logos. Take this out here. Alright, what's next? Yeah, I'll probably just do the team logos and add them into the media memes folder. So enter Marseille. Just need to download the assets. I think I got a couple of as is, but let me double check. Just because I've had to do similar things in the past. So Real Madrid I definitely do have, so I'll just add it here. I definitely have Inter, so that can go here.
Had us matched up against the likes of Inter Milan.
Probably do a solid color background and white, that way the logos pop out a little bit more. Let me just grab that here out of my favorites folder. There we go. Yep. And then just bring down the logo a little bit in size, that way it fits on the screen. So enter
Marseille.
Okay, I don't think I have Marseille's, but
Ajax.
do I have Ajax? Possibly. No, probably not.
Leverkusen.
Definitely don't have Leverkusen.
Real Madrid.
I do have Real Madrid.
And Napoli.
Napoli as well. I can add these on. I think yeah, the logos I've got were the ones from the Club World Cup. That's right. Alright, I guess they have a newer badge now. Not like the lack of colors on the badge is a bit of an annoyance personally for me, but it is what it is. We're still in the old game, so
Real Madrid. And Napoli. So, Real Real Madrid.
There we go. That way the logos get added in the correct dimension. Then I need to grab Ajax and Leverkusen. Okay. I'm just doing the stuff on the other screen that you guys can't see, so.
Marseille, Ajax,
Okay. Got theirs. Okay, so
the likes of Inter Milan, Marseille, Ajax,
like, yeah, I can go closer on this actually. Leverkusen. Okay, so Leverkusen's the only one I need out of this particular example. Okay, give me 1 second here. Let me just check what's going on with the dogs. Yeah, they did that, man. And yes, Cabo Verde qualifying is pretty good stuff. I'm happy for them on that. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Back now. Alright, so these are this part's done. So next transition is
especially since we were very likely losing our goal scoring machine before the first game of the competition even got started.
right, yeah, that aspect, so we gotta re-emphasize it. Wish I would have maybe grabbed a couple more screenshots from that at the time, but hey, it is what it is. Actually, I can probably use one of, because Lucas scored at least 1 or 2 more goals here that I can use as footage. Okay, he didn't score in this one. Yeah, we did get the footage for that one. I think I know what I need to do here. Yeah, I need to use... Yeah, I'll just use the game footage for this. And then use the another one of the goals as game footage on that initial spot where I had it for the point I'm trying to make. Yeah, they don't. I don't understand. Yeah, I didn't understand the big deal with that either. Like, they suck internationally. They've sucked for a while. They'll continue to suck, to be completely honest. So, yeah, I don't see the big deal either. It's a mountain out of a molehill situation, which, but then again, yeah, just it's not worth giving them any more attention at this point. I'm just halfway expecting like half of those players to eventually say that the referee is Hamas or something along those lines to justify that loss to Italy. So, of course you are. Okay, so
Especially since we were very likely losing our goal scoring machine before the first game of the competition even got started.
There we go.
Which, yeah, given Luca's attempts to move to Spurs or another big club of some sort, it did force me to make a move with the remainder of our transfer budget. Likely losing our goal scoring machine before the first game of the competition even got started. Which, yeah, this isn't gonna be fun. At all. Especially since we were very likely losing.
Actually, I think I make this point at least a little bit crazy. Okay, so which...
Yeah.
It
did force me to...
Actually, I don't need to do the Luca point again since I'm already emphasizing it the first time. Editing on the fly, boys. One at a time. Let's see how this flows.
Which, yeah, it did force me to make a move with the remainder of our transfer budget.
That actually works perfect and gets rid of, point that was already made in the previous sentence, so...
Remainder of our transfer budget.
I need a more of a close-up on this one. Let's see how this does, actually. That's nice. I can work with this, actually. Basically, I need to make the point that Vitor Roque is getting signed, but then also not, Right, yeah, I need to take the key locks out of all this. Yeah, just goes in on the wards and like the transfer budget portion specifically, since I didn't get a screenshot of the budget at the time. Okay, no. Remove any of these key locks. Like, fuck off. I don't need these right now. No. Stop it. Now. Okay. Maybe getting everything reset to normal seems to have done the trick. Nope, nope. This will fuck up the footage.
Oh, especially since we were very likely losing our goal scoring machine before the first game of the competition even got started. Which, yeah, it did force me to make a move with the remainder of our transfer budget.
There we go. And this makes it. This one is a little more. Regular news item here. Because usually in these I'm cutting them down so as to get the emails portion out of the way and make it so that the news part is more visible for the full screen. So.
Where I ended up paying Napoli about $30 million to grab striker Vitor Hockey from them.
Cool, that's done.
The move was completed about 24 hours before the transfer window deadline.
Actually, yeah, let's do this as a transition.
And the timing couldn't be better.
Actually, keep this as is. I think, yeah, here's what I can do.
4 hours before the transfer window deadline.
I can use just we'll just use the perfect.
The move was completed about 24 hours before the transfer window deadline, and the timing couldn't be. The move was completed about
That way they can see the player a little bit more in the deal.
24 hours before the transfer window deadline, and the timing couldn't be better, because during the last few hours of the window,
Right, yep, I can do this. Yeah, the craziest part for me was seeing Luka actually get 2 release clause deals from Spurs and Real Madrid, and him choosing Spurs instead of Madrid. That was kind of nutty for me.
because during the last few hours of the window, Tottenham Hotspur activated Lorenzo Luca's 46 million release clause, and well, he was off to North London while we were too busy beating the brakes.
He's
Off to North London.
Yeah, I gotta extend this one and then transition into the next bit. There we go. Because we have the EFL game against Burnley to happen on the same day, and we can just use the goal highlights from that. Or at least grab one of the 3 goals from that. I'll find out which one here in a second. There we go. Yeah, this is a little more viable for me. We'll do a 1.3 on the close-up on the zoom for this.
Off to North London while we were too busy beating the brakes off Burnley in a huge derby.
Okay, so first goal there, just a cross into a header. Let's see what the second goal was. Interception, big Brexit type ball to the front, and Leonard just pouncing on it with a kick. And what was the third goal? Yep, big long goal kick, free kick situation from the keeper. And then Vitor Hockey scored. Oh yeah, that's a proper bomb there. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Busy beating the brakes off Burnley in a huge. Cup's third round. Much to YouTuber Viza's chagrin. Probably.
Well, at least this next part is almost all wrapped up. Then again, yeah, this is season 4 kind of goes on for a while, explanation wise, due to reasons here. Let's see. I think I may have found the main clip that I need for the transition on this. Let's see if I can get it downloaded here first on the other screen while working on it. But yeah, I guess this is as good of a time to ask everybody else how they're doing out there. Hopefully you've been hydrating accordingly and all that good stuff. Okay. Let's see. Hey Jeff J, hopefully all's well with you too. Things are fine over here. I'm just working on stuff. Might be actually easier to capture this. Let's see if I can actually get the right time. think I've got it. Yep. Let's go to the screen then. We'll grab. I'm just gonna grab the video capture actually, like outright from Viz doing this rather than like downloading it separately, because it's trying to have me like download the whole video rather than just a clip of it. Let me just pause the music here in the meantime in the mic so that way I can capture the footage properly. Give me just a couple of seconds here, everybody. Hold on. Cool, I got what I needed out of it. Thank you, Viz. Even though you probably have no idea I am doing this until the video comes out in a couple of days, thank you for your service, is the best way of putting it. Let's get back to going on tunes and stuff. Should be just under the videos folder here as the capture. There we go. Right, now it's just a matter of getting things edited here accordingly. Yeah, because right now, JFJ, I guess I can go over the prospect here. The next video that I'm doing is FM related. I decided to go for winning the Champions League, but only playing a 4-4-2 as the only tactic that I could use throughout it, and I reached out to a couple of different FM YouTubers to have them create variations of a 4-4-2 for me that I would have to use for the entirety of a season while trying to win this whole challenge. And Blackburn is the first team that we started with on this whole journey and whatnot. And then we had like an actual derby we played against Burnley during the process here. So this is what the bit is for. Let's link.
From a personal level.
Let's see how this looks.
Probably.
I will not be able to handle the I'm going to get if we lose.
This is...
I'm not in a mental place that is strong enough to handle what may happen to me. Never mind my own depression and anxiety in terms of what may happen if we lose this game. I don't.
The shorter one probably works better.
I'm not in a mental place that is strong enough to handle what may happen to me. Never mind my own.
Yeah, the short one should do the trick actually for it.
I will not be able to handle the I'm going to get if we lose.
Release clause, and well, he was off to North London while we were too busy beating the brakes off Burnley in a huge derby in the Carabao Cup's third round. Much to YouTuber Viz's chagrin. Probably.
I will not be able to handle the I'm going to get if we lose.
And then here's what I can do. And then I just gotta reset this. Right. So let's. Okay, that's perfect. I just need to capture a still of that here. Save it as a PNG. I like that you're able to capture stills within DaVinci. It's just it goes through such a complicated way of doing it compared to how Wondershare was able to do it, where they just have like a simple one-click button for it. But it's one of those things like where the program has this program has way more advantages than it does like faults per se. Let me just capture the footage. That was won a European Cup. Masuma. Yeah. Oof. Yeah, that's tough there. I know I've read, and I know why the name sounded familiar because I know I've ran into Masuma when I was doing my União de Tomar save during the Taça de Portugal earlier rounds. I believe we got him at least once during the eight seasons I did of that. So fun times. Okay, so this needs to be yellow. I'm just trying to think. Probably. And then do, yeah, text. They did, in fact, lose. Trying to think. Medic wise, for sound effect here. Let's see, actually.
Blackburn's return to the Champions League featured a come from
Will not be able to handle the I'm going to get if we lose.
You could do something with a few here. Yeah, it's unfortunate when you get to that point where you're trying all of the avenues at that point and it's nothing's really there. Let's see, what do I have in this my own sound effects folder that maybe I can use with this? Actually, this might be. Sorry, I'm just looking for my sound library. Yeah, that's crazy, especially for that kind of size on a goalkeeper. That's good value. Hopefully, he does well for you. Actually, we can go without this. Like, I just think the flow might be a little interrupted if I do a meme here. Let's just keep going. Especially since I'm running out of ideas like how to follow up on the initial bit of it. So,
Probably. Blackburn's return to the Champions League featured a come from behind and their eventual first one came against Marseille. Return to the Champions League featured a come from behind 2-2 draw against Inter Milan at Ewood Park. And their eventual first one came against Marseille. to the Champions League featured a come-from-behind 2-2 draw against Inter Milan at Ewood Park, and their eventual first one came against Marseille in France, but with the cost of losing Joe Bellingham for 7 to 8 weeks to injury. And their eventual first one came against Marseille in France. And their eventual first one came against Marseille. In France, but with the cost of losing Joe Bellingham for 7 to 8 weeks to injury.
Let's see. Is it going now? Am I actually getting mercy from OBS, or is it deciding to crap out on me? I'm watching the waves. They seem to be going now. Anyways, point I was making. Sorry again. Haven't eaten lunch as of yet. It's around 3 p.m. My time. I need to go do that. This was going to be a quick stream anyway to show you guys what I'm working on video-wise, which is the reason why there haven't been as many streams over the last couple of, over the last week and a half, basically. But I do feel those will pick up more once this gets posted next week, along with the FM26 beta, whenever they decide to throw that our way, whether that's next week or the week after. You know, it is what it is. It'll get here when it gets here. But that said, I will see you all at some point soon. Not sure when, but some point soon. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.